Me and all three of the K-On! Fans out there in the world are very happy people right now. So, K-On! Shuffle has come out in the West officially, and to that I say hip hip hooray. But in all seriousness, it's great that we can have some brand new official K-On! Content be coming out here in the West, which means that there is a possibility for the series to continue in an anime form. But of course, this series itself hold its own weight and actually give us that possibility? And the answer to that is kind of sure. So of course, K-On! Shuffle is a spin-off series with a whole new cast of characters, which is pretty much K-On! Again, just with different characters with different personality types. The series itself is very much K-On! It is very much a series that is just like K-On! It is a silly, goofy, and cute series following a bunch of different characters, following their dreams in high school of playing in a band and all that fun stuff. Of course, that makes you say, well, what makes it so much different than the original series? And to that I say it's probably one of the biggest strengths of the series is that this series is a lot more character based, I guess you could say. A lot of the characters in the series are a lot more developed and actually form relationships that actually have an impact on the series itself so far. Whenever I see characters interact, I see them actually develop and actually grow, which for K-On! Is kind of an accomplishment. A lot of the characters in the original K-On! Are static characters and don't really grow that much besides maybe one or two characters. For example, my favorite character is Mugi, but Mugi does not change at all throughout the series, really. She just stays the same throughout the whole thing, which in itself is not a bad thing. I think static characters are still great. For example, I mean, people still like Goku, and that man hasn't changed for over 20 years. Another positive about the series has got to be that it's an easy read. And what I mean by this is it's very pleasing to the eyes. The panel structuring is not complicated. You can read it and not have any trouble following the plot. You can read it at your own pace, of course, which creates your own pacing, which I think is a great thing. That's why I love manga. Another thing I like about it is that it is such a step in the right direction when it comes to improvement on character design. I felt like with the original K-On! Manga, I felt like the character designs and the, overall art style were, not the best thing in the world. I felt as though that they were very bland. I felt like the original manga didn't have a lot of personality when it comes to expressions, especially. And also, in some cases, you feel like they aren't drawn their age, you could say. But with this series, you feel like when you look at the character designs, you see their expressions, you see how lively they are. And plus, they definitely look like their actual age. I feel like you're reading a series about just a bunch of high school girls and not like the original Can, where you could say some of them look a bit older than high school. Mugi is a victim of this, unfortunately. It's definitely a great step in the right direction. But of course, the series itself is not perfect. Even though the structuring of the manga itself is easy to read, it can be very disorienting. There's not a lot going on in terms of changing up the structure of the panels. Sometimes we might get a panel where it's like, oh, this one is a little bigger than the others. This one stands out from the rest of it. Obviously, it's not like One Piece paneling where it's like you gotta go super overcomplicated and try to fill so much stuff up on one page. But after reading 100 200 pages of nothing but of reading 8 panel pages each time and getting sort of the same result, it can just be a little disorienting, and it can make you want to wish that it could be over sooner than it's begun. But so far, these first set of chapters that have come out in the West in manga form were pretty entertaining overall, and I enjoyed the read all the way through still. Hopefully we get the second volume coming out sometime soon, I hope. The series itself is still ongoing online, and you can still read it if you really don't want to wait for it to come out officially, but I highly recommend also supporting the series and buying the manga, because it actually gives us a chance to get the series animated again, whether it be animating K-On! Shuffle or even animating K-On! College or K-On! High School. But overall, I highly recommend reading it if you're a fan of slice of life, and I also, of course, recommend it if you are a fan of K-On! Especially. It's not going to be the best thing you ever read. It's probably not going to even be better than K-On! For a lot of you, but I still enjoyed this series quite a bit. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the series down below, or if you read just the first volume, let me know who's your favorite character, any moments that stand out to you. Do you feel like this is going to be the great success of the K-On! That we need in order to get a brand new anime, or do you think that maybe one of the older versions should be getting an anime like K-On! College or High School? Let me know down below. And with that, I'll close this out by saying, read K-On! Shuffle.